Hey there, it's Seb Frey here with yet another exciting episode of It's a Seb Show. And today I want to talk about something that's very, very exciting, California Proposition 19, which has passed and it's become the law of the land. Now, when did this happen? Well, Californians voted on it on November 3rd, 2020. Other interesting things on the ballot were Trump versus Biden, right? Very famous, and that sucked up a lot of people's attention, the whole Trump versus Biden thing. But also on the ballot for Californians was Prop 19. Now, Prop 19 seeks to amend Prop 13, which is probably the most famous California ballot proposition ever. That was passed in 1978, and the point of Prop 13 was to limit the amount of property tax that the state could collect on homes and businesses or commercial properties in the state of California. So the way Prop 13 worked is that when you acquired a property, it was assessed at fair market value, which is usually the purchase price, and then it would be taxed at 1% of fair market value, and that assessment could not increase by more than 2% per year forever, right? That was a maximum it could ever increase. And because of that, after many, many years, Prop 13 has been with us for 42 years now, and there are people like my parents who've owned their property that whole entire time. And so their property tax basis is super, super low. And for that reason, a lot of people just never move. I mean, they may be in a home that no longer meets their needs, or they don't even want to live there anymore. But they say, hey, listen, I can't sell my home and go buy a home somewhere else, because if I do, my property tax could be 5, 10, 15 times higher, who knows, right? So it creates a strong disincentive for people to move and keeps them living in houses which may be far larger or in some other way no longer meet their needs. So, along the way, we had Prop 60 and Prop 90. These were passed, I don't know when, but years ago. Prop 60 allowed you to transfer your property tax basis to another property in the same county, right? But that property had to cost the same or less than the property that you were selling. And Prop 90 allowed you to transfer your property tax basis to another county, but only one of 13 counties that cooperated in that program, which is to say that you couldn't move anywhere you wanted to in the state, only to a few certain counties. And again, the value of the property you bought had to be less than the value of the property that you were selling. So now Prop 90's come along, and now that's changed. Now you can sell your home and move your property tax basis anywhere you want to in the state of California, provided that you are 55 years of age or older, or you have some kind of disability, or you are the victim of a wildfire. And you can do that up to 3 times, unless you are doing it because your house got burned down, in which case you can move your tax basis as many times as you want to. So it's a wonderful thing. People will now be able to move from this, big rambling house they had someplace and downsize into a chic, elegant, very expensive ocean view condo, maybe somewhere by the beach, that maybe more fits their needs and their lifestyle today, and they'll be able to keep that low property tax basis. Now, something very similar to Prop 19 was on the ballot 2 years ago. It was California Proposition 5. Prop 5 did not pass, and Prop 19 did. And why did Prop 19 go through and not Prop 5? Well, because Prop 19 had the support of a lot of public sector unions, specifically teachers and firefighters. The teachers and firefighters were opposed to Prop 5 because they felt that it would result in a reduction of income into the county and state governments, which might mean they would have, job cuts or pay freezes or pay cuts, or basically it wouldn't be good for them, right? So Prop 19 sought to bring those folks on board, and the way they did that was saying, listen, we're going to really try and have it be so there is no net loss of tax revenue to the counties or to the state. And the way they did that was they ended up having to screw over a whole bunch of people. And so the people that they screwed over are investors, right? So the Prop 19 transfer only applies to homes which you are going to occupy as an owner, right? So you can't transfer your property tax basis on a investment property, right? And then you have like a rental house or a duplex or a fourplex or something like that, or an apartment building, whatever you may have. You cannot transfer that property tax basis. Not only that, if you were to pass away or otherwise transfer your non-owner occupied home to a family member, if that family member does not occupy the home as well, they will lose that Prop 13 tax basis, and the property will be reassessed at current market value. Now, obviously, that puts the hurt on a lot of families, right? They've been planning to, have this low tax basis and sort of build like, generational wealth that way. And unfortunately, that's no longer going to happen under Prop 90. It happened in my family. My brother has a few of these properties, and he voted no on Prop 19 because, he didn't think it would be great, like if he were to pass on some of these several properties that he owns to, me or my kids or somebody, that they wouldn't be able to enjoy that. And I've heard from other clients as well that, hey, they're going to get shafted. Like the planning, which they've been doing for the last 42 years, has now all been upended. And that really does suck. I feel for you. But at the same time, I have to look at the greater good. And the greater good is that it's going to free up a lot of people to move where they want to be living, right? A lot of families have been kept apart because mom and dad, they can't go and move down to wherever it is that the kids are now living. Because if they do, they'll get killed by property tax. Not only that, but by keeping them in their house, they're keeping a lot of inventory off the market. If you haven't heard, in California, we're going through this terrible, terrible crisis of inventory. There are hardly any homes for sale, and it's very hard for new families to get into a lot of these neighborhoods because there's nothing for sale. And what you have is maybe one person or two people banging around a big old ranch house, which they feel they're trapped in because they don't want to lose that property tax basis. They don't want to give it up, and now they can. The California Association of Realtors is projecting that because of Prop 19, there will now be as much as a 10% increase in the number of homes which are sold every year. And that is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing because you really have a problem of people just not being able to find the kinds of homes they want to live in and not being able to sell the home you don't want to live in anymore because you can't give up that property tax basis. Now, I have a whole bunch of info on this on my website on sebfry.com, not sebfry.tv. This sebfry.tv is only video, but if you go to sebfry.com and you search for Proposition 19, it'll come right up, and you can download my FAQ and a little summary that I wrote up about Prop 19. So there we go. That's what's happening in California real estate. Prop 19, yes, is now the law of the land. All right, well, that is it for this episode of Seb Frey TV. I hope you have enjoyed it. Did you learn anything about Prop 19? Do you know anybody who would be interested in hearing about Prop 19? If so, would you do me a favor? Would you give me a like? Would you give me a comment? And this would be awesome. Give me a share. Would you share this with somebody that you know who is interested in Prop 19, could benefit from it, or perhaps is going to be harmed by it? I would really appreciate it if you would help spread the word. All right, that is it for this episode of It's a Seb Show. But don't worry, I will have another episode up again before too long.